Good morning, Greater Life. Stand and worship with us.
When all I see is the battle, you see the victory. When all I see is the mountain, you see the mountain move. And as I walk through the shadow, your love surrounds me. There's nothing to fear now, for I'm staying with you. So when I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Who can be against me? For Jesus, there's nothing impossible for you. When I see the ashes, you see the beauty. I see the cross, can't you see the empty tomb? So when I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Every fear I lay at your feet. Oh, I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. So when I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Oh, every fear I lay at your feet. I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Thank you, Lord. You fight our battles for us. Give you praise. Thank you, Lord. through the night and through the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of night. The work is finished, the end is written. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Who could imagine a grace of mercy? What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages stepped down from glory to wear my sin and bear my shame. The cross has broken, I am forgiven. The King of Kings brought me his home. Beautiful Savior, I'm yours forever. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Oh, hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your very body began to breathe. Out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your very body
songs that we sang today, they're about God already being victorious. That the battle isn't ours to handle. That he's already won. He's already claimed victory over the things that we're facing. And some of us need to let that go. Some of us need to let and release control over those situations, thinking that we have to constantly be in fight mode, constantly be in battle mode. He's already victorious over it. Death has been defeated. The grave is already won. Relinquish control, church. Quit carrying around that idea that you have to have your guard up all the time. That you have to walk in things alone. That you have to wake up and face the day alone. The day is already his, handed to him. The song says the work is finished, the end is written. You know, we can take that a few ways. Your story is not over yet, no matter where you're at. The end is written means we will know where we're headed. We know the end result of our salvation is to be with Jesus. We still have a life to live here, but we don't have to face death. We don't have to face fear. We don't have to face anxiety. The end is written. He's conquered all those things. That doesn't mean they don't roam around this earth. Sin is unfortunately in this earth. But it's your choice to wake up and say, do I either walk in my anxiousness and worries, or do I walk in the victory that Jesus has already provided for me? That is our choice. And you can choose that right now. Relinquish control. Let everything go. And you will feel a burden lifted off of your life. Thank you, Lord, that you are moving on our behalf constantly, Lord. Even when we're still, Lord, you are fighting our battles. Thank you that you are a God who provides all our needs, who defeats our enemies, who clears our path, provides a way for us, Lord. Thank you for all that you are in our life, Lord. We know that if we give up full control, Lord, even though it might seem scary to not have our hands in everything, but when your hand is over it, Lord, it is blessed. It is already declared victorious, Lord. So we take our hands off, Lord, so your hand can be placed on it. And you will deliver everything that you said you would, Lord. We thank you for all this. And we give you all the praise in your mighty name. Amen. Give him a shout of praise. Thank you, Lord. You are victorious. Well, welcome to Greater Life Church. We hope you are blessed. Why don't you greet a few people as you're seated?
There we go. Good morning. How are you guys? Good. That's good. I got a little woo. I like that. I'm Andrew. I'm the leadership pastor here. I had the opportunity to speak last week, and have the opportunity to speak this week. So I'm pretty excited. have, it's almost like a little bit of a continuation of last week, just to kind of go a little bit further into it. I'm going to take a quick sip real quick because I was yelling a little too much during worship. I don't know about you guys, but if you can't, you probably can't hear me, but I think sometimes James is like, shut up, you're too loud. But that's just fun for me because I get to be up front here and yell at him. So, last week I asked you guys, I said you have a decision to make in my message. And I don't know if you remember that or not, but we were talking about how Abram, who then in turn became Abraham, renamed by God, he was the father of the Israelites. He went, right? Abram went. And that was really what set him apart from, who knows, some other people out there that were possibly called by God. But Abram was the one who answered that call. And he went. And we talked about, we've been talking about leaving a legacy all of January. Pastor Keith has been preaching through leaving a legacy. And we have, there's some cards on the seats, either beside you or near you, that we are actually beginning to raise funds to go after this building that's over to the left, to my left, your right, to gain some more property. We're very excited for that. God has blessed us in it. And so what we're talking about is leaving a legacy for those to come, not necessarily who's here today or who will be here next week, but future, those to come. And so all throughout the Bible, it's about leaving a legacy. So we talked about how from Abram all the way down through the Israelites, then came Jesus, and then even further on. So one thing I said was, so you have a decision to make. You can't sit still. You have to keep moving, right? And so my question is did you make the decision? Did you at least think about it? Did it make you kind of ponder some things in your mind? I know I talked to a few people after the service and they were like, what you had said actually really sits with me, resonates with me, because right now in the situation that I'm in, you kind of spoke to what I'm going through. And that's because a lot of us, whether you realize it or not, go through very similar things. It's just that maybe the story isn't quite the same because it's a different name or a different person, maybe a different scenario within your job. However, the situation seems to turn out to be very, very similar. And so I hope that it resonated with you. So now my next question is what's stopping you from it? What's holding you back? As James was talking about fear, whenever you think about something and you go, okay, this is what I feel God's called me to do, I would, Andrew, I would, but, I would go and do this, but what is it that's stopping you? What's holding you back? And so one of the things is fear. Absolutely. Because it's scary out there. It's a scary world. And fear can keep you back. It can hold you back from what God has for you. Absolutely. Money. Is money an issue? It can be. Absolutely, it can be. Friends or family. Don't look around the room and don't look beside you. But I have a story to share with you real quick. Jenny wasn't able to be here this morning, but her and I have been married for 18 years now, going on 19 years. I know I look like I'm 22, but I'm not. So we've been married for 18 years, and we got married I was 21 and she was 20. So now I've just told you how old I am. I hit 40 this past year. But, one of the things is that we had friends that would say, I had friends say to me, what are you doing? You're 21 years old. Are you crazy? You getting married? Go see the world, man. Go. But, the truth is that at 17, I was in Germany, which I don't know how many people have been to Germany at 17 years of age here, or even a little bit older. And then after I graduated from culinary school at 19 years old, I was in Florida, right outside of Fort Lauderdale, and about 45 minutes from Miami, where I spent my days off. How many of y'all know, if you want to go see the world, you go to Miami? I loved it there. However, a lot of those friends, a lot of those people, they were telling me go see the world, but I had already seen enough. I had already seen what I needed to see. And I knew I loved this girl, so it was time. then friends you can deal with sometimes, you know what I mean? But then when family steps in, it can be hard. And you know, we had people look at us and go, family, you're too young. What are you doing? Are you sure you're gonna make it? Because this world is full of that right now. The stats are ridiculous when it comes to marriage. Sometimes, you know, it's, I don't know, they say 50% end in divorce. I don't care. You know, the truth is that I was ready. She was ready. If we would have listened to the family and the friends, I don't know where we'd be today. I don't know if she would be by my side today. I don't know if I'd have the kids that I have today. I don't know. But we couldn't let that stop us. Now, we had to do it in wisdom, absolutely, because we were, you know, young, crazy in love. But we did it, and we took a step. And we knew what we wanted to do, and we went after it. We couldn't let things stop us. You can't let things hold you back. As I said, bold, wise decisions, I said about that last week. You don't just go making flippant decisions all the time, because that can get you in some tough spots. You want to be bold, but then also wise in your decision making. You know, I was bold whenever I went to her dad and I told him I wanted to marry her, and I think I was 19, 18 maybe, and I wasn't even anywhere near ready. However, he stopped me, which at that time, I was making a bold decision. It wasn't necessarily a wise decision, but I was ready. And he knew it. But, you know, fast forward a few more years and we did get married. But it was one of those things where he saw it that it was more of a bold decision than a wise decision. And I respect that. I really do. So it helped me not to jump off too fast. But then when it came time and I really knew, it was like, let's go. This is where we're going. Nothing can stop us. So one other thing I have down here is your reputation. Reputations are big, right? What do people think of me? How am I looked at within this world, within my family, within the community, whatever? And should we put everything on our reputation? No. But you want to be reputable, right? You want people to be able to trust you. You want to have a good reputation as opposed to some, you know, a bad reputation. Because how far are you going to go without a good reputation with people? Not very far. You can't put everything on the reputation that you have. It won't last. But you still need to have good standing with people, right? Is that what's holding you back? Is it holding you back that somebody may look at you and go, wow, that's a weird thing to do. Why would you do that? That's what I'm talking about. You're a weirdo. Why would you? Hey, I went to Moody Bible Institute and people looked at me and said, why would you go to Bible college? Why wouldn't you go learn about business? And to be honest with you, at the time, all I wanted to do was learn more. I didn't have a plan to be standing up here and preaching or doing anything, leading a church or any of that. I had no plans for that. If you would have said, you're going to be preaching within about 5 to 7 years after you go to Bible college, I would have laughed at you. And I would have said, you're crazy. My dad's a preacher. I'm not. I won't do it. However, God had other things for me to go after. And so this isn't something I do every single week. If this is your first time here, typically Pastor Keith's up here preaching, but I get opportunities every now and then, and it's a great thing. It's an awesome opportunity to have. However, I help to kind of lead other things that are going on in this church, and if you would have told me that that's where we would end up, I would have laughed at you. I really would have. As a pastor, it doesn't make sense. But I had people standing in the way saying, what are you doing? Why would you do that? That's crazy. Stupid. But I still wanted to go after it. I still knew that God was calling me to go and do. And so I kept going. Now, I didn't just jump right in and go, I'm going to Bible college. I didn't, because it costs money. But there was a time where I was able to go and learn a couple things at the church that I was going to at the time. And I was taking some classes, if you will, in the evening. I was learning. And I knew I wanted more after that. I was just, something was driving me to go learn more. And so then, the whole point is, it wasn't an abrupt decision. It's something that took time. It's something that I thought about, I prayed about, I went to Jenny about, and we talked through. And then I talked with my dad about it too. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking that I'm supposed to go do. You know, what are your thoughts? Gain wisdom. So I say all of that to say, you need to get rid of that list. The fear, the money, the friends, the family, the reputation, things that, I would, Andrew, but you need to get rid of it because it weighs you down. It keeps you from going further. You can't stay where you are. The world's moving forward. God is moving forward. See, some have stopped, but many move forward. So figure out how to get through it. And how to grow through it. But how? How do you do it? Through faith. And we talked about, going and talking with people and surrounding yourself with people that you trust to help to build you up. But it all starts with faith. All of it. If you don't have some sort of a faith that God's going to show up, then you won't keep moving. So, in Hebrews 12, 1 through 3, it says, therefore, and I'll get to why it says therefore. I know we say it all the time. You have to find out why it's therefore. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. You see, it says, let us throw off everything that hinders. It's throw it off. It's laying it down, casting it aside, putting it away. And everything that hinders is that, I would, but everything, I could, but you got to get rid of it. That's what it says. You see, that hinder, it translates into, in the Greek, it translates into a burden, a bulkiness, a mass that is on you, a weight that is just like, just keeps you down, weighs you down. And you guys all know, there's times in your life where something you've been like, you know what, I'm excited for it, I'm going to go after it. And then somebody says something or does something and you're just like, you're like on the ground. You can't even get up because it's so heavy. It's such a weight, a burden. It's like, I can't. I would, but they said I can't do it. I was told one time, I've told this story many times over. I was told that I wasn't able to play the French horn. This was in 5th grade. And the reason I wasn't able to play the French horn was because I just probably didn't have the skill. So I played the trombone. You know what I did with that trombone? I played it for 1 year and I dropped it. Because I really didn't want to do that. But somebody told me that's what I had to do. And what I really thought I wanted to play, they told me I couldn't do it. And I listened to that. Now, I was in 5th grade, and I know a little bit better now. But that stopped me. I was done. I was like, fine. If I can't do it, then I can't do it. I guess I'll settle. Oh, that's good. I'll just settle. I guess I'll just do this instead. Don't settle. Don't. Get some people around you that are going to build you up, that are going to keep you moving forward, that are going to say, yeah, you know what? Even though it looks hard, you can learn how to do that. You can figure it out. You can go further because that's what God has planned for you. Now, I'm not saying that God had the French horn planned for me and I was going to be playing in some kind of orchestra, anything like that. I don't know anything. I can't even read music, y'all. But the fact is that that's just a story along my life that said, you can't do that. That's just one thing. You can't let things stop you. Who knows where it would have taken you? Who knows? You can't settle. You see, you have to throw that stuff off. You have to set it aside, lay it down, throw it off, get rid of it. Stand up against it. How? How do you do it? I've been saying it. Get people around you that you trust, that you know have been through some stuff in their life that can lift you, build you, help you in the process. And pray. Go to God with things. I've got a decision to make. You know what? I'm going to go to God and I'm going to find out. And until I have that peace, I'm not going to make the decision. I'm just going to, this is where I'm at right now. It's a big thing to, big decision to make, but I'm going to take it to God because I don't know what else to do. This is where I'm at. This is what I know to do. Pray. See, no one's perfect, but there are those with wisdom that we can lean on. And in Hebrews 11, when I showed you it says therefore, and you got to find out what it's there for, I'm going to be reading a lot of stuff out of the Bible today. And the reason I'm going to be doing that is because when I was studying this out and I was looking through it, I couldn't leave it out. I couldn't, because it made total sense. It was like, not a light bulb, but I've read it before, and I've read it before, and I've read it before, but it was one of those things where I don't want to cut any of it out because you're going to go, whoa. And that's the thing. If you read one verse, if you look before that and after that to get some context, you're going to start reading a little bit before that even more. And then all of a sudden you may read a chapter before to understand what is this talking about? Where are we in history? What does this mean? In order to get that understanding, you have to look before and after. And so what I want to do is I want to look at, so Hebrews 11, it actually is the, by faith, it actually says as a header in Hebrews 11. And it's by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith. And I probably didn't even say enough of them that are in there. But it starts out, it says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. A lot of you have probably heard that before. It's Hebrews 11:1. By faith we understand. By faith Abel. By faith, by faith, by faith. And it talks about these great cloud of witnesses that chapter 12 says. Therefore, we're surrounded by these great clouds of witnesses. These are the things that it's talking about. It's talking about all these people that have come before. And see, it says Abel, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, the people who are the Israelites, Rahab. It goes on further. But in Hebrews 11:8 is where I want to pick it up. Hebrews 11:8, it says, by faith, Abraham. And we talked about this last week. But this is the same thing. In Hebrews, it's going through the story again to remember, so that the Israelites remember the story. And it says, by faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, he obeyed and went. Abraham went. Even though he did not know where he was going, by faith, he made his home in the promised land like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same promise. For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God. And by faith, even Sarah, who was past childbearing age, was enabled to bear children, because she considered him faithful who had made the promise. That was God who promised her a child. And so, from this one man, and he as good as dead, because he was so old, as good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sand on the seashore. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. Whoa. See, they were living by faith, and they knew that there were things to come. They hadn't received the promise. And it says some of them didn't even receive the full promise themselves, but they kept moving forward because God had called them to. By faith. You see, they were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they're looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country they had left, they would have had opportunity to return. That's a good one. I'm going to flip my paper over and I'm going to get lost when I come back to it, but I can't. See, what that's saying is you're going to always have the opportunity to look back and return to where you've come from. You can always fall right back into it and just settle and be okay. But if you think about that, well, I'm sorry, hold on, not but. You see, the reason is you can continue to think about those things and that weight that's been holding you down, and that will keep you held down. That's not throwing it off. It's keeping it on you. Whenever you just ponder it and ponder it and ponder it. Now, not to say that you can't bring it back to mind, it's just you can't dwell on it. You can think about it and you can go, okay, you know what? I do remember when that happened, but I didn't let that hold me down. I kept moving forward, and look where we're at today. You see what I mean? You see the difference? You can't just keep dwelling on it and go, I would, but whenever it's like, okay, we're taking the next step. You know what? I would take the next one, but this person said this about me, and I just don't think I can do it. You see how it'll hold you back. You can't keep dwelling on it. So it says people who say such things show that they're looking for a country of their own. They were driven. They're looking for something of their own. They have some sort of a goal in mind. And now, I don't claim to be a great leadership pastor, leadership guy, leader thing. But I do know one thing. You need to have a goal to go after in order to bring people along with you. If you don't have a goal and you don't have where you're going, then what are you doing? We have a goal. Absolutely. What's our goal right now? Go get a building and get people. That's our goal. That's where we're heading in the current state. Now, 10 years, there's probably a different goal. But the immediate goal that we're looking at within the next year, building, that's a goal. And you know what else you need to spell out for people? Or for yourselves? Let me say that, is the why. Why are we doing it? A lot of leadership people, the esteemed book writers and those people out there say you have to define the why behind the what. Have you ever heard that? Why behind the what? Do you know why? Because that what is your goal. The why is what drives you. Why are we going for a building? The building is our goal. Why are we doing it? Tell me. Reach people. Yeah, to reach people. Ultimately that one is for the teens, the young adults, that group, age group. But it's not just for that. We're going to use it for many other things. There's a big kitchen down there. I don't know who we're going to feed. We have no idea right now. We don't know. But we know we're going after it. The why. Why are you doing it? Why? So you have a goal in your life. Why are you doing it? You define that, and that drives you to go further. You can't put it down. You have to keep going because now you know why. I'm jumping ahead, but I felt like I needed to jump right into that. You see, they were longing for a better country. They wanted a better place than where they were now or at that time. What's the decision that you've made?